Should the skies ahead be nice and clear and smooth sailing all the way to the USA?
Storm.
Yeah.
Senku, your luck, buddy. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another anime reaction here on the Genreverse YouTube channel. It is AVR2, and we are here with our Dr. Stone Season 4, Episode 2 reaction. So many numbers. I'm Kyle, no wife Christine, but husbando Brian's all mine today. How you doing? Brian's Pulp Mythos, also here on YouTube. Check his channel out after you finish this. Subscribe to both. Subscribe here on the Genreverse. Lots of great anime content, as well as reactions and reviews, podcasts covering all sorts of things in geek, pop culture, entertainment. If you like horror movies, go back and check out our 13 Days of Terror 1 and 2. Lots of fun. This year, super special. We're doing like I don't know what the title is. I got a couple of clever titles, don't I, Brian?
Yes.
And but it is going to be best third movies, trilogies. So not that it has to end at 3, but Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Halloween 3, Scream 3, things like that. Third films in a franchise. So I mentioned Brian's channel, Pulp Mythos. There it is. And hey, a lot of Genreverse content goes up at lrmonline.com, along with written news articles, doing entertainment reviews, news aggregation announcements, PR releases and whatnot, press releases and whatnot, celebrity interviews from the LRM YouTube channel if you're into it. So are we, and we're writing about it, talking about it at lrmonline.com. Oh, Christina's visiting family. They had trouble this morning, which sucked. I have been up since 2:30 when they delayed her first flight by like 3 hours. And that caused her next flight after her layover to no longer be valid. And so we had to work on getting a new flight, things like that, but still managed to get her out. And she's only going to get there about an hour later. But even though her morning flight was later than the initial one, there was no going back to sleep after all of that. So I am home alone with a digital babysitter. We had to turn on the living room camera. I almost burned our house down, leaving a hot glue gun on. So we made sure everything that I might accidentally leave on if I used is unplugged. And she'll be checking on me nightly. I got brain injuries, guys. My mind is not all the greatest anymore. That hot glue gun had been on for days. I don't even remember when I turned it on. Like, that's... Anyways, so you guys get a screen more filled with Brian and I. So let's do Dr. Stone. Oh, and guys, it's English today. I still have subtitles in case you have a better time at reading English than you do hearing it. Thank you to all you that said that this would be completely fine. If this is your first time ever hearing English Dr. Stone, give it a try. If you're an English speaker, I promise you, man, you should slide right into it, because it is one of the best dubcasts out there. It really is. Let's do this. Lucas liked the intro for the new season a lot.
I loved it.
I did turn on subtitles. See, it says it. I'm going to put on the closed captioning then. Got to try not to read the damn subtitles.
I know.
Look at Kohaku showing her knowledge now. I mean, she's been showing it for a while.
Nothing like a good beer. It's the spot. Back in ancient Egypt, beer was so valuable they used to pay their pyramid builders with it.
Used to drink more alcohol simply because it helped purify the water.
Yeah. Are they keeping this beer cold?
Wait, hold on. Are you not gonna have any? I think I'll pass for now. It's fine. I'm not the only one.
Straight edge.
I am Captain Straight Edge. I believe the straight edge is the only way. All you drunken maniacs are gonna see the day that you will die.
This is true. You guys should always, when out traveling, partying, you should pick a designated sober person, even if they're not driving, even if you guys used public trans or whatnot, just to help keep an eye on everything. Yeah.
Not everyone is a fan of drinking anyway.
I'm not really old enough to be drinking alcohol.
Yeah, guess you are a little young.
Yep, you shouldn't be.
Don't let it get you down. Francois!
Yes, sir. So I shall make some special non-alcoholic cocktail.
I was going to say, like,
Mocktails.
yeah.
Morale if we were to let those who don't imbibe feel left out.
Let us know if you need anything.
Whatever you want. The science team's on it.
You're as kind and generous as always.
There's, you ever seen the YouTuber Nile Red or Nile Blue? He's got 2 different channels. He's like I don't want to say he's self-taught. I don't think he went through like full college for chemistry, but I think he's got some education, but he's mostly like self-taught in chemistry and stuff like that. And he'll do things like making, I think it was like grape soda from plastic gloves, from like latex gloves.
I think I have seen that
Yeah,
show.
breaking them
Yeah.
down to the actual bare chemical compounds, and it reminds me of these guys in a way, which is cool. I suggest his channel if you guys are into. They're very long form, and he's got a good like dry sense of humor, like it's there. But I don't know if his delivery is for everyone. You know what I'm saying? But do give it a try. Lots of really cool experiments. Oh, I just noticed Chrome looked like he was doing like the floss type dancing. That's not the floss dance. Chrome's a man of culture. Maybe it was just his hands waving down here. It's a little dated these days, isn't it?
Yeah, actually.
It might not have been. It might have just been some like show dancey type thing. Dancing is so weird to me. Can I just sidebar? I'm not a big fan of musicals, and a big part of that is like big group dancing. Dancing's weird to me. It just is. It's not like, oh, I'm jealous because I can't do it. I don't really have a desire to dance. I'll be silly in my own house, of course, with my wife and kid. And sure, what person attracted to another person doesn't like to watch them gyrate and stuff? But as far as like dancing, choreographed, synchronized dancing, it weirds me the frick out. So like when people were complaining about She-Hulk dancing, and then people that liked She-Hulk dancing, twerking, whatever, were like, oh, what about all these other dance scenes? I was like, I don't like any of them. So, but it's a weird thing. And I think some of it is the hand stuff. It looks, it's talent, athletic, but it looks ridiculous to me.
I like She-Hulk twerking. Quote, Brian.
Brian's step on me, Jolly Green.
So the MCU is a joke at this point. Embrace it.
Yeah, but in small enough amounts, it helps change stuff.
That's probably just the name that sounds scary, right? I mean,
No,
there's no way Senku
it's
would
poisonous.
Straight up poison in our drinks.
It's straight up poison. Would you scaredy cats just shut up already?
Potatoes can poison you, you know?
Been stuck with this for a while now. That's how science works.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if you don't know what you're doing, you'll die. After that's done, you've got gum syrup. Pour some filtered yogurt, add gum syrup, a little bit of lemon, and voila.
Just lactic acid drinks, like a creamer of sorts.
I hope you enjoy this.
Or no, lactic acid, some sort of Like citrus flavoring, maybe?
Did she have ice?
I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, she was shaking stuff.
So where are they getting the ice?
Added some apple juice to this lactic drink.
Scorbic makes citrus, I think. I can't remember.
It's not just a decorative garnish.
What'd they make the straws out of? Bamboo?
Your pure smile, like radiant sunshine, interacts with your helmet, showcasing your effervescent charm. A cocktail especially for Sweetie, the two-side sunshine.
Aw.
I would bet there's some scientific reason it makes the drinks mix better.
No.
It's nothing of the sort.
It's just showmanship.
Simply for flair.
It's like going to what they call in the U.S. a hibachi grill, which is actually teppanyaki, if I'm not mistaken. But the showy, flashy stuff on the big griddle. You can cook that all in the kitchen, like get a regular like table out in the restaurant, not do the show, and they'll bring out the exact same thing because
This cocktail
it's all just for presentation, fun, which they are fun.
Pomegranate under the scientific glow of the black light changes like the gentle flame smoldering inside Sukusa's heart.
It's blue?
Glowing. So pretty.
You ever thought about a glow-in-the-dark tattoo, Brian? UV reactive?
Not really. No.
I've thought about it.
I've known a few people that's gotten them.
Mature and spicy.
What would you get?
Triforce on the back of the hand.
Huh?
And for you, Rohaku,
That makes sense.
Yeah, right?
Really is something. We have the imagination and knowledge to create
It just
amazing
feels like it would
things.
hurt. Not a lot of
Oh, yeah.
thick tissue there.
Everything in our world is natural.
and this one is a cocktail crafted for the one and only Senku.
Matches his hair.
Milk and pochicha tea syrup. The layers represent
Sounds like some sort of like healthier mudslide.
We're gonna drink it all together.
You know, I've said Dr. Stone could actually be somewhat of a survival guide, additional materials. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's enough stuff in here for strict survival, and there's enough stuff in here for once you're kind of like settled and you're trying to find some comfort items and things like that. And I like how throughout the series we've seen, of course, you know, invention building on invention, but also showing is there's not just practical, but there's comfort and stuff involved as well, which, as Ryusui pointed out last week, some of that just for fun, just for comfort stuff becomes practical stuff when you're talking about keeping morale and stuff up.
His master from back then?
Well, the morale thing is, yeah, that's very important. And
He had a powerful spirit to the very end. Then it
we like
began,
drinking.
without any kind of warning. They rained down suddenly. Perhaps someone's voice commanded them. Or perhaps they were responding to our curses. But it didn't take long for people to understand how these terrible weapons worked.
Oh my god, I cannot imagine that.
If these fall into the wrong hands, chaos will run rampant! Find them all and destroy them immediately!
Oh, there's gonna be another one around? Okay, he just cut off his arm. Damn.
Please, Master. You should
Should have let him go in the stone. You didn't know, though.
Listen, I've been thinking, why did the heavens curse us with this evil petrification weapon?
It's hard to hear his voice like this.
At first I thought it was divine punishment, but it's strange. The ultimate goal was to turn everyone to stone. It would have only taken one device to make it so. It makes no sense. Had they been designed for us? Why are they so easy to use? Were they intended
Good
to be
questions.
weapons to wield against each other? It's quite upsetting, infuriating, and I want the heavens to suffer for it, Matzukaze. I want the gods to
Ooh,
suffer
what if it-
humans aren't so
What if it didn't even originate on Earth at all? like the first device, like the very, very first thing that goes off? What if it was something that fell to Earth a little bit prior and was being messed with? Because aliens is still a legitimate theory.
Yeah. What if it was just some tool, some kind of task?
Yeah. Like they've got their own cure device as well, and they go onto planets and they petrify them to go in, catalog, see, safely if we can go on or not, and they attune it to specific life forms or something. I don't know. Theories. Look at him kill.
Yeah, we don't typically go all in like that in this show.
Nope.
I cannot escape my fate. Therefore, I must ensure future generations know what wrought this calamity.
Ah.
But still, I must go on.
Beer with matcha. The bitterness that comes with
Francois was a Super Sentai fan with all this color matching stuff, weren't they?
Please enjoy.
He's a lightweight?
I feel them. I must make myself stronger. Yes.
Let me borrow your chest.
Sure.
What?
Thank you. I think we could all benefit from more combat training.
Wait, we're actually gonna wake this guy up?
No. Relax, we have a gun now. Besides,
Oh no, who is it? Oh god, Hyoga.
carefully to say the future of humanity is at stake. You're our battle specialist, Tsukasa. And that means if you think you need him, and I'm sure we do.
Or is it the other guy from the village?
And he's the most qualified with weapons.
It's Hyoga.
Why not wait? Yeah,
Ah.
I would not wake him yet.
He did get he got knocked down a peg sort of fighting what's his name from Treasure Island. He was shown that he could come close to losing. And maybe with Tsukasa he will be calm. I don't know though, because he straight up stabbed Tsukasa. So.
If you can train him in modern fighting techniques, Matzukaze will improve exponentially.
I will agree to that, on one condition. Oh yeah? Are you looking to get some
America
kind of
is
hardcore
mine.
off on old Tsukasa and whoever else? I won't
What's that?
ask for that.
Not saying he wants America. Like,
Oh.
America is mine. That is the deal.
It would be an injustice, and no system of law would offer it to me. My condition is 2 revivals. The right to awaken 2 people.
Well, one would be Homura. Who would the other be? Oh God. You're letting them have all of them? Ah.
It's you.
This is dangerous.
Now what was that? The Owari Kanryu spear technique? Maybe I should give this practicing a try for once.
No.
He's just going to train an army now under your guys' nose.
There certainly is. Got some good-looking girls here.
Oh, joy. I forgot
Oh, I
how
forgot
pervy
about
he
that.
is.
Yeah.
Moss, I expect you to behave properly.
Man, if you ask me, those guys are super scary.
Yes.
No way I'm throwing myself in the middle of that. So I was thinking, we,
Train together. As brothers. Is Ginro taking things serious for a moment?
Reader's Defeat always turns into a metal thingy.
What are you saying?
Oh, it's like something Francois said earlier.
Is it now?
Kira, behind you! Ow!
In the early Middle Ages, these brave warriors ruled the northern seas. They are the Vikings, displaying extremely impressive nautical skills.
displaying incredibly impressive rating skills.
Before Columbus. You see, it was incredibly difficult to determine your bearing and position while traveling across the high seas.
So it was crazy hard for the Vikings to do, but we're supposed to take the most complicated way to get there, aren't we?
Again, you guys have more science stuff, so
Science and old Professor GPS, we always know exactly where we are.
you've got a radio transponder. Senku, it's not exactly GPS.
It's coordination with Ruri and the others back in Japan.
Is that giant clock? Oh my goodness.
Don't forget the sundial, too. These will help us transmit the time in Japan as accurately as possible to our friends on the ship.
No.
It's talking about.
Well, they won't be verbal, but we can receive faint shortwave
Morse code.
So they send one every hour, right on the hour.
Just letting you know the time.
And that means it's 10 a.m. there.
And as long as we know the hour, all I have to do is count the seconds to make sure we stay accurate.
How could I forget we have scientific stopwatch?
You know, clocks scale up, like the parts needed. And I know that there's some really specific stuff for keeping them accurate. But you would have to imagine that Senku could have devised a mechanical clock at this point. They've got springs, they've got coil. They can, and they don't have to be super strong, you know? So they could cast some metals into the shapes of cogs. It's not going to be as accurate without, well, I mean, hell, they built a lathe. Anyways, I think they should have a mechanical clock by now.
Yeah. Well, like you said, they could, because you initially would be like, well, you know, the tiny work, but like you said, you could build a big clock. Like,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
exist.
And if you know that it's relatively temporary, you know, you're not trying to build it out of fancy brass and wrought iron hands and stuff like that. You're wood, bamboo thing, you know. Or even one that just a mechanical dial clock that shows numbers. I mean, there's some things to do. Nice.
I don't get the technical stuff, but I got the last part. Because if we know our longitude and latitude, we know exactly where we are. Yeah. Should the skies ahead be nice and clear? It's smooth sailing all the way to the USA.
Storm.
Yeah.
Senku, your luck, buddy.
You just had to say it, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like before you were born, you decided to max out your stats in intelligence, grit, and willpower, but ended up having absolutely nothing left over for luck.
If only we had something magical to have, like that sunstone thing from the Viking legends.
Aw, yeah! We got this bad rock out of the Scar deposit, aka nature's treasure chest. Do you mind using your gorilla power to chisel out this middle section for me?
Are you thinking there's a beautiful gem hidden deep inside of it or something? As long as you send it to Ruri, I'm all over it. I don't know. It's kind of pretty. Just a whitish, normal-looking rock, huh?
You know, that was my first thought too, but check it. When you look at stuff through the translucent part,
Looks kind of weird. Like you can see it twice. But I'm not convinced that Ruri would think.
Doubling the light.
never actually said a single thing about her. Anything cool has a chance of turning out to be something totally bad someday. So I check out everything that I can get my hands on. That's what it means to be a real science user. Okay, so which way would the sun be?
You won't be able to see it through the rain clouds.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Because when we get the angle just right and point this baby at the sun,
Should line up with light.
marks look almost exactly the same. Not that I know why or anything.
No way.
Yes, way.
Nice.
That's a duh. It acts as a natural prism.
So when they line up, it'll show us where the sun is
Yep.
lying away?
Yeah.
Like I say, a way of like doubling the light, sort of.
It makes sense to me now. Apparently, when they investigate Viking shipwrecks at the bottom of the ocean, they often discover a huge amount of calcite. Although it's always been a mystery as to why they were carrying it with them.
Maybe it wasn't some sort of legendary
It's a good theory.
magic item, but an incredible real invention. That was the sunstone.
I wonder how practical. I wonder if anyone's done this modern times. See accuracy. much like a lot of things in the past, sometimes they would be getting just enough right for it to work out, but they also had to rely on a lot of luck. And then there were other times where they could have had one thing to do whatever it is that they're doing, but they used multiple things, and all of those things contributed a little bit to their success with whatever task. You know, the past is interesting.
Real power of science! What's next on our science journey?
Rough seas. I guess those would be like giant monsters to the Stone World people.
Shoot, to us. Horrifying.
Yeah, but don't mistake what you guys did in Japan. The maps are different. Things have changed. You've had 3,000 plus years, 3,500 years of seismic activity on the American West Coast. Not just the earthquakes, the potential tsunamis off of them, as well as many volcanoes. Not many as in small, many as in large amount. And super volcanoes. God, could you imagine if like Yellowstone had blasted during those 3,000 years? Good episode. What'd you think, Brian?
Yeah, a lot happened actually. Unstoned some people. You had the fun little drinking portion. Navigation tools, figuring out how his GPS works, arriving to America. So
yeah, like I said, I think maybe showing us the timekeeping the way they were is kind of similar to what I was saying, you know, showing like almost like a survival guide. Hey, check this out. You can use your sundials, make an hourglass. They didn't show how to make an hourglass, but you know, you could do some rudimentary timekeeping, and maybe that's why he doesn't have a mechanical one right now. I love the show. It feels kind of like a similar start to seasons 1 and 3, where they're a little slow, but still enjoyable. You've got the comedy, the character stuff. Yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes as we start setting up these new locations. And you know, one thing about humans is we can work really well together in small groups, but when you start scaling up, human nature comes into play more and more. And me, I'm a big, huge, like, individual liberty, freedom, like, as long as you're not hurting others, do as you will amongst consenting adults type person. So it's not like I would be like Tsukasa or Hyoga and only wake up certain people. There's a risk that comes with that type of freedom, and that's the risk of someone taking it and doing bad stuff with it. But man, when you're trying to wake up everyone, you can see some conflicts coming up. So, yeah. Any other thoughts, Brian?
Looking forward to an antagonist. We see in the opening somebody's coming, so we'll see.
You think Hyoga does what I kind of mentioned and is just still plotting?
I think definitely plotting, but maybe that changes depending on what they encounter.
Yeah, fair enough. Let us know what you guys thought down below. Christine should be back with us next week. She's supposed to be home in just a few days. It's a relatively short trip. And yeah, check out Christine and I doing solo leveling for this season as well. Lots of anime reactions. Our Jujutsu Kaisen reactions are back. Vinland Saga reactions will be back in a few more days. Look at early next week. Lots of other great things going on the channel. Live streams, all sorts of fun stuff. A lot of that goes up at lrmonline.com, where you can get all your entertainment news, reviews, opinions, celebrity interviews from the LRM YouTube channel, and more. lrmonline.com. Brian, say something about your channel.
Hope that does. Check it out.
All right, guys. Kyle, Husbando, Brian, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.